So this was anticipated since the end of the playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because let's face it, Brendan Shanahan as a player was a champion, but as in management, Brendan Shanahan's time with the Toronto Maple Leafs is over. The team announced Thursday his contract will not be renewed. Over the past 11 seasons, according to TSN, Brendan Shanahan has made countless contributions to Toronto Maple Leafs on the ice and off the ice in the community. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment President Keith Belly said in a statement, Brendan is one of the most respected leaders in the game and has instilled many of the traits that were signature of his Hall of Fame career throughout the organization, united the storied franchise and honor, pride, and courage that was founded on. But only 3 playoff victories in 25 years. Our responsibility and driving motivation, however, is to add a new chapter to the Maple Leafs title history, and it was determined that a new voice was required to take the team to the next level in the years ahead. Now, just as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the bet Ottawa in the first round and had 2 bad losses to Florida in the last 3 games, both by counts of 6-1. They choked at home twice. So, shortly after the team announced Shanahan's departure, he made a statement of his own. Toronto is where I was born and raised, where my family still lives, and being a part of the historic and franchise will always be one of the greatest honors of my life, Shanahan said. I want to thank the entire Maple Leaf staff for their commitment and hard work over the years. They are second to none in the National Hockey League. I want to thank the alumni for all their support and tremendous work that we do at their games and within the community. Many of them were my heroes growing up, and it's been a pleasure to get to know them on a personal level. I want to thank the fans for their passion and loyalty. Your love for the team inspired me every day. While I am proud of the rebuild we embarked on starting in 2014, 11 years ago, ultimately I came here to help win the Stanley Cup, and we did not. There's nothing more I want to deliver to our fans, and my biggest regret is that we could not finish the job. So, they made 9 straight playoffs, okay, and only 2 playoff victories in those 9 years. I greatly enjoyed working with Brad and Brad Treliving and Craig Boorbay. I firmly believe they are excellent in their roles and have done a great job in their time with the team. Also, I want to thank the players. They are committed and passionate about delivering a championship to the city and will do everything within their power to accomplish that goal. I wish them all the best. Now, the date of Onatopico. Shanahan appeared in 1,524 games over 21 seasons with the Devils, Blues, Whalers, Red Wings, and Rangers from 1987 to 2009. He scored 656 goals and added 698 assists over his career, giving him the 28th highest point total in NHL history. But get this, ladies and gentlemen, he's not the 28th best player of all time. He just piled up a lot of points. Now, he won 3 cups with the Detroit, the stacked team, in 97, 98, and 2002, an 8-team All-Star. Shanahan represented Canada on a number of occasions, including the gold medal winning efforts at the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics in 2002 and the 94 IAAHF World Title event in Italy. Inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2013, prior to joining the Leafs, Shanahan spent 5 years in the NHL's front office, serving as senior vice president at the time of his departure. Reports emerged on Wednesday that the New York Islanders have approached the Leafs for permission to speak to Shanahan about their lead executive vacancy. Lou Lamoriello, a former general manager of the Leafs, had departed from the team's chief hockey executive vacancy in April. Now, as it stands right now, there's different things going on here. Now, the Leafs have granted the Islanders permission to speak with Shanahan. Now, according again to TSN, it's TSN hockey insider Darren Dredger confirmed that the Leafs have granted the New York Islanders permission to speak with him after he expressed interest in speaking with the Leafs president about their top hockey job. Now, Shanahan, 56, completed his 11th season to help with the Leafs, with his contract set to expire at the end of June. Of course, we're not going to renew it. Johnson notes that team ownership set the bar for success this season with at least an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, something that has eluded the Leafs for 21 years. After opening their second-round series with the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, with 2 consecutive wins, the team fell in 7 games. The series loss included a pair of dispiriting 6-1 defeats on home ice, including in Game 5 and the decisive Game 7. Now, according to Johnson, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, MLSE, and a Leafs parent company is set to hold an off-season review on Thursday, where Shanahan's future will undoubtedly be raised. Sources also told Johnson that should the team move on from Shanahan, which they have, his position will likely remain unfulfilled for the foreseeable future. Now, there's also talk maybe that Patrick Waugh could come over. Uncertainty over Shanahan's future comes with MLSE set to undergo an ownership restructuring, with Rogers having purchased Bell Media's 37.5% stake in the company. The deal has yet to officially close, but when it does, Rogers will control 75% of the organization, which means no more Montreal Canadiens games. On the ice, there's also a pivotal off-season, with Mitch Marner and John Tavares set to become unrestricted free agents, and breakout forward Matt Unice heading to restricted free agency. Jay Johnson noted that Leafs general manager Brad Treliving's 2-year tenure on the job has been viewed positively internally. Now, again, he came out of the Hockey Hall of Fame induction and went straight to the Maple Leafs. Now, the idea about this, ladies and gentlemen, it's not Brendan Shanahan's fault. You don't have a number one goalie. You depend on too much on whatever you call them, the core four. But you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, we softened the league this year. The Montreal Canadiens softened the league. We knocked out Buffalo. We knocked out the Rangers. We knocked out the Islanders. We knocked out Columbus. We knocked out Boston. We played Washington first round. We weakened them. That's why Carolina bet them in the series. And you're telling me that the Maple Leafs, all he had to do was win one of the last 2 games against Florida, and one of the last 3 games against Florida, and he couldn't do it. Like the 6-1 defeat in game 5 was just pourri, terrible. And he had a miracle 2-0 victory in game 6 when Pacioretty scored the insurance marker late. But ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is this. Sports is a funny game. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs have not won anything for 58 years. They brought in Lamoriello, Babcock, big head coach. Who else are going to bring in here? Who's left? Do you want to be coach or GM in Toronto? You know, how many times? When is my time, Lord? When? Like when Ben Affleck talks to Jay and Silent Bob and Jay and Silent Bob strike back. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on TSN, keep an eye on Rogers. But I think basically what happened, Rogers said, we want a winner, get him out of here. So I wouldn't be surprised there could be a Russian coming in or an American. I wouldn't be surprised that a former Toronto Maple Leaf like a Matt Sundin might be asked to come out and help out. But Brendan Shanahan, I don't consider him a hockey mind. I'll tell you why. Because it just seemed he was sort of like the Steve Shutt of the Detroit Red Wings. Although Shutt was a great player, the main reason Montreal won those cups, Lemaire, Lafleur, and the big 3. No discounting. It's hard to win 3 cups, but that Detroit team was loaded, ladies and gentlemen. And you had Hasek as well. So keep an eye in the skies, as we like to say in the North Shore. And like we say with this, for all the Maple Leaf fans out there, I want you to win, but you got to figure out some way to win because, you know, you're spending our money. And you're stopping Montreal Canadiens being shown on Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday night. Like what if you don't got a city channel on your dish, man? What are you going to watch? Anyway, have a good one.